I'm Chantel Johnson from the ICE Resin 2015 design team, and today I want to share with you the beginnings of art collages in metal bezels that are filled with ice resin. Let's get started with actually creating an art collage. I want to show you some finished projects. The one in particular that I'm going to focus on is this one right here. It's called My Friend, and it shows mixed media collage inside the bezel. And also, here are a few other samples. All right, now let's move over here and we'll get started on our supplies. One reason why my studio table is still kind of messy is because this is actually how I work. I keep all my little bits and papers here and over here and in here, but I want to show you how we can collage in these smaller type metal bezels. These are some of our hobnail hearts. This is just one that I've had for a long time that's a little bit thinner, but an odd shape. Some of our metal bezels and other ones out there on the market have particular dies that actually match the shape. Others don't. And so what I want to show you today is how we can collage a one-of-a-kind art piece in these bezels without having to make big. Sometimes it's fun to make small. And so we're going to start a little bit today, and let me show you a few things. We're going to use a different type of base. We're either going to use some type of cardstock. I love manila folders that I cut into tag shapes. We can actually, with the dies or with tracing, we can cut the actual shapes that we do need. If you don't have a die cut or a die that actually mirrors this shape, it's very simple. You take ink and you ink the edges, and then you push it onto a piece of paper, cut that out, and you'll have your template, which will be wonderful and easy to work with like this. And now we can collage this small piece of paper to create a one-of-a-kind art collage for a piece of jewelry, an embellishment, a gift. So let me get started and show you why I keep these little bits of paper, and to tell you also that when you're collaging small elements, you want to go small, but that doesn't mean it cannot have definition. So for example, we're going to use some scrapbooking paper today, and we'll actually cut them and maybe even fussy cut a little bit. Dictionary pages are wonderful to create small collages because the words are still very clear and very visible, and you can get the words that you like. Another great source is vintage children's books. Our theme today is friendship, and I have loved this old dictionary, vintage dictionary, 1944. Great words, great messages of the time, but small enough that you can put it in the small metal bezels, or that you can read and create collages. So now let's get started assembling a collage. I'll share with you two choices of how to begin your collage. One, if you do have the die, or if you have traced the metal shape and you have the actual shape in hand, you can begin to collage this piece. Or you can collage large, like on a tag, not really very large, and then you can use the negative space to see where you'd want to place your die to cut, or again, kind of how you'd want to trace this out. Either way is fine. Let me show you one when I did it large on a tag and how I created a collage. Here's the piece. I used the die cut after I collaged, and you'll see that's the piece that went inside. So you can do it several different ways. I added my dream and my bird at the end to make sure they would fit. So this is how to use it from a different standpoint. To create this necklace, this piece, I actually collaged the heart, and let me show you how we're going to do that. With collaging the heart, you want to look at this almost in groups of 3, kind of portion it out to 3. You don't want it to be so busy that there's no focal point, and yet you want to develop interest. And so with scrapbooking paper, you can begin to tear, just simply tear your scrapbooking paper. And remember, if you tear towards you, the white stays to the back, and you have the edge of paper and without the white definition. And so you would begin to adhere that with glue sticks, and I overlap so I can come back and I can cut that extra as opposed to trying to get an exact piece. But this way, if I continue to cut, I have got my beginnings. And then I'm going to come over to the other side, either with a focal color or a deeper background, since this one is fairly light. And let me show you some choices we could do. We could add these if you wanted it to be with floral. And then what you would do is you would create maybe one line that's horizontal, and you could do that with washi tape. Washi tape is so fantastic. Keep in mind that it doesn't totally disappear, so if you have something that has a light background, such as this, you're still going to see the edges, and so you want to make sure your piece is exactly how you'd like it. So if we wanted to lay that across, we could do that. And washi tape's great. You can totally lift it up if you don't like it. So we would put a piece of washi tape across the top, and then we would focus on our words. So let me get this set up, and then we'll come back and do the finished art collage. We've added vintage words, we've added a cut rose from the scrapbooking paper, and a few little rhinestone elements. And you could keep adding, but by creating the collage on the heart base, we are sure now that everything fits, and now it is ready for ice resin. Thank you for joining me today on the beginnings of how to make art collage. For more details, you can check out the iceresin.com for more projects, and be sure to check out my blog, www.chanteljohnson.blogspot.com. Thanks so much and have a great day.